Hello dear students, hope you all are doing fine and welcome back once again to the online class. And today in this session we are going to start the first poetry from the book Hornbill, a poetry called A Photograph written by Shirley Tolson. In the poem A Photograph, the poet deals with the commonplace theme of the impermanence of life, decay and death are an integral part of human life. With time, man loses his youth and strength. Then one day he is no more. What is left behind are sweet and sour memories, which are often invoked by some photograph. In this poem, the poet recalls her mother and her memories while looking at a childhood photograph when her mother was 12 years old or so. She has been deceased or dead 12 years ago and she cannot explain her grief on her mother's loss. About the author, Shirley Tolson was born on 20th May 1924 in United Kingdom. She belongs to the modern age in British poetry, the age of experimentation in form and technique. Her poetry is known for the brief, witty touches and a unique combination of humor and pathos. Shirley Tolson has been writing books on the social history of the countryside since 1974. She is a leading authority on ancient tracks and drove roads and is the author of The Drovers' Roads of Wales and The Drover Roads of South Wales. Among her notable writings are The Celtic Alternative, published in 1987, and The Celtic Year, published in 1993. Now let's read the poetry. The cardboard shows me how it was when the two girl cousins went paddling, each one holding one of my mother's hands, as she, the big girl, some 20 years or so, all three stood still to smile through their hair. Here the poet says the cardboard shows me how it was. The cardboard here refers to the photograph of the poet's mother who is no more. When the poet looks at it, her mind is filled with past memories. In this line, we can see that the poet is looking at an old photo album which is made up of cardboard. In the picture or the photograph, there are three girls who are walking on the beach holding each other's hands. The girl in the middle is the tallest and the oldest. The other two girls on each side are younger than her. The girl in the middle is the poet's mother. She is around 12 years old when the picture was taken. And also the poet says that all the three girls, all three of them stood smiling, their hair strewn across their face, possibly tossed by the beach wind or water. Or their smile can be seen through their hair. Now let's read the next stanza of the poem. At the uncle with the camera, a sweet face, my mother's that was before I was born, and the sea, which appears to have changed less, was their terribly transient fit. In these lines, the poet describes how the photograph was taken. Her mother's uncle took the photograph and told them to stop and pose. All three of them left their wet hair opened and smiled at the camera. The poet's attention is drawn towards her mother's face, which is described as a sweet face. The photograph was taken long before the poet was born. The poet calls their feet terrible transient as they were so young by then and now they had grown older. On the other hand, the sea, which touches their feet, has changed less. Here in this particular line, and the sea which appears to have changed less, the poet wants us to understand that the sea which forms the background of the photograph has not changed over the years, whereas the mother in the photograph is dead and gone. Man's life changes and comes to an end, whereas nature, represented by the sea, remains unchanged. The poet also says, "Vast their terribly transient feet." Here, the poet says that the sea waves washed away the girls' footprints soon after they were formed. The girls themselves were removed by the tide of time, transience of human life, and everything connected with it is a sad fact which has to be accepted. Let's continue reading the poetry. Some 20-30 years later, she would laugh at the snapshot. "See Betty and Dolly," she would say, "and looked how they dressed us for the beach." Here, the poet says that after 20-30 years later, the mother or her mother would laugh at the photograph and pointing to her cousins, Betty and Dolly would say that they were beautifully dressed when they were sent to the beach. Now let's continue reading the poetry. The sea holiday was her past, mine is her laughter, both re with the labor is of lost. Here the poet says, the sea holiday was her past, mine is her laughter. When the poet's mother was alive, she would look at the photograph only to be lost in the memories of her youthful past. Now when she is no more, the poet looks at the photograph and recalls how her mother would laugh innocently at the sight in the photograph. Or we can say that the sea holiday was her mother's favorite moment from the past, while the poet's favorite moment from the past was her mother's laughter. The poet further says, both re with the labor is of lost. Here the poet says that change and death are unavoidable, one has to accept them. With the passage of time, man loses much that is precious to him in life. He is compelled to accept his loss of East. The poet is trying to explain that both the woman or the poet and her mother would think about those past memories which they cannot live again. They tried their best to adjust to what they lost. Now let's read the last stanza of the poem. Now she's been dead nearly as many years as that girl lived, and of these circumstances there is nothing to say at all. It's silence, silence. Here in the last stanza, the poet says that her mother died 12 years ago, the same age her mother was in the photograph. Whenever the poet thinks of her mother's death, she cannot explain what effect she has of her mother's death. That has silenced her mother, which has also left her speechless. Or we can say the loss of her mother or the poet's mother has left the poet speechless. She is haunted by the void her mother's death has created. Nothing is now left for her to speak about, and that's why the poet says, and of these circumstances there is nothing to say at all. It's silence, silence. Here that leaves behind silence. It's silence, silence everything else in life. This silence reveals human helplessness against the harshness of death. Now let's see the poetic devices used in the poetry. The first one is alliteration. The poet has made a deft use of alliteration in the poem. What is alliteration? Alliteration is the close repetitions of the same sound in a line. For example, all three stood still to smile through their hair. repetitions of S and TH sounds. Their terribly transient fit, repetitions of T sound, ta sound. Its silence, silence, repetitions of S or sa sound. The second poetic device used in the poetry is transferred epithet. It is a phrase expressing a quality of a person or something. The example of transferred epithet used in the poetry is vast their terribly transient fit. The third poetic device used in the poem is oxymoron. What is oxymoron? A paradoxical utterance having two contrary terms is called oxymoron. Example: loving, hate. I burnt and freeze. In the poem A Photograph, the poet makes use of oxymoron in the line the labored ease of lost. So dear students, that's all for today's class. Hope you understood the lesson. Thank you.